Well, g'day there. Welcome to this ARNZX first look of Wing Creations' latest scenery. This is Sendai. So what I thought we'd do is we'd have a look around, as we normally do, give you an appreciation for what the scenery looks like, how it performs, and yeah, we can take it from there. So just an observation straight away, as you can see, the air bridges are default FSX air bridges. Reading on the Sendai Facebook page, I believe it was, they elected to use default air bridges primarily because the air bridges at the actual airport look almost identical, which is somewhat interesting. So there you go, there they are. I would also point out initially that the scenery itself is quite expensive. So I paid just under 43 New Zealand dollars for this add-on, which I thought was quite steep compared to some other add-ons that are available. So I'm expecting a lot for the money that I've paid, and I have to say from past experience that Wing Creations have a very high opinion of their own scenery, and that's fine as a developer. But what I've found is they're typically overpriced by around about $10 for what you get. So I'll be interested to see how this stacks up. And so far, my initial impressions are it's probably overpriced by about $10. But we'll see how we go. As you can see, the quality of buildings looks good. The texturing's low definition, so that's going to help with performance. Yeah. Visually it doesn't detract from it too much, I don't think. You can see that some of the terminal interiors are actually modelled, but it's pretty simple. And this is I guess what I'm talking about in terms of value for money. For what they're charging, I would expect more in terms of interiors. I'm not talking about huge detail, but it would be nice to have chairs there, a few plants, whatever. As it is, it's pretty sparse. But we'll see what it looks like when it gets to night time. You'll also notice the ramp is relatively sparse as well. There's not a lot of scenery objects there. Having said that, I'm getting very good performance, and that would be part of the reason. Up on the roof, there's a nice little viewing area, and gives airport visitors great spotting opportunities actually. God, I wish we had that at our local airport. Coming down the other side, so the quality of modelling is good. Down onto the ramp. Bit of interior stuff going on there as well. So look, it looks good. A little bit bland, but it seems to do the job. No gate numbers. Oh, there they are. It's a little bit bland. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more there, but the quality of the modelling is good. Dreamliner. I'm not sure if the Dreamliners fly into Sendai. So as you can see, there's the domestic side. We can already see some sort of 3D interior stuff going on. Nice reflections on the glass. Texture quality is a little bit better there. Japan Post. Not overly legible, but does the job, given this is not airside, so it doesn't matter so much. Quite a bit of traffic in here, buses and cars parked. As you can see, we've got vehicles moving through. It's always good to see vehicles coming through. Above us is the train station, and we've got a train sitting there. Not overly detailed, but it does the job. And we'll just climb back up and get a good look at the terminal from here. And as you can see, it looks quite good. Nice shape. So certainly visually it looks good. Plenty of cars in the car park there. Is that plane taken off here? God, it's quite a long runway. A couple of runways there. Head over that side shortly, but it's good to see traffic in the car park. Closer to the terminal it's quite full, and then the further away the emptier the car parks get, as is human nature. If I don't have to walk, I'm just going to speed the sim up so we can move around a bit faster. There's some good transparency there. Yeah, I like this kind of interior 3D modelling, and there's quite a lot of it, which is always good to see. Very similar architecture I find at most of the Japanese airports. Some nice detail there. There's a few default FSX objects. They're all default there. So the cargo ramp. There's a bit more scenery items here, which is good. Fill it out a bit. There's the fuel farm. It's built vehicles. Certainly they've paid good attention to detail. Airport sign, traffic signage. So there you have it, that's the terminal side of things. As you can see, the vehicles in the car park are all very low polygon, which is good, but I think they look effective. Some sceneries I've seen recently, some of these cars in the car park are so incredibly detailed, and it certainly impacts on performance, but these are good. They look good and perform well, so you get plenty of them in the scenery, which is good. Let's see where the photo real is meeting the default, or in this case global textures. Looks like all the houses in the area have been featured. So I've got some locked with 30 frames per second. It hasn't dropped below 30 frames. Now, fair enough, I'm not in an aircraft at this point in time. But as you saw already, I do have the CLS version 1.5 747 parked up at the gate. So I think it's performing pretty well when I've got the aircraft. There's lots of purpose-built scenery over here. This is part of what I mean as they go beyond the boundaries of the airport. It's all nicely modelled and textured. So there's sort of plenty there to add atmosphere to the area. So this is all obviously the other side of the airport. It. Nice hangar complexes, so some nice detail in there. There's 3D control tower. A couple of people inside of, I guess consider that to be an Easter egg, given you can't see them from the outside. There you go, just for those people who like exploring like I do. Damn, no surprises, eh? Yes, it's nice detailing there as well. So this is the thing, I find myself in a bit of a quandary with these guys, because on the one hand, as I said at the start, I think they overcharge. I think they rate their add-ons a lot higher than others. That's fair enough. Developers are obviously perfectly entitled to charge for what they believe their products are worth, and I know these guys feel with the amount of effort they put in, they should charge what they do, regardless of how much criticism they get for it. The problem I have with that is if you're going to charge that kind of money, you need to deliver on the scenery. And as I said, I think this is overpriced by $10 at least. That's not to say it doesn't look good, because it does. It performs very well. But there are bigger, better sceneries around than this, cheaper. And that's the thing when creations need to understand, and I'm not sure they do. I don't normally have this much traffic going, but there's tons of it around here. So as you can see, we're obviously coming up to the approach. interesting that the markings are yellow. Haven't come across that before. Don't even remember coming across it in the sceneries that these guys have done, so that looks nice. Nice modelling in there, nice detail. Must be lighting. Alright, I'm going to switch to night and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, and we're back. And it's night time. And as you can see, global kicks in nicely in this part of the world. Plenty of lights across the city. So the night lighting's okay. Not the most exciting I've seen, but it's effective enough. I'm not quite sure what these are about, pointing away. 3D edge runway lighting. That looks nice enough. I like that. I like that green. You've got the various taxiway markings and things like that. So we've got a lot more traffic tonight. There's two that have. This will be the third that's taken off. And we've got one coming in. So that's a lot better. It's around about, I think about 5:30 in Sims, so given it's winter, that's why it's so dark, it would be about right in terms of traffic volume. Rush hour, I guess. I like that. So it looks like there's, I'm seeing this a little bit with some sceneries recently. So they're using a texture for ramp lighting, though I note none of the lights up here seem to be working, so all the bulbs are blown in those, and yet they're casting light over the ramp. So that's highly efficient. Bit of a draw call there with clouds, which is pretty normal. At night, it's better for seeing inside the terminal. So 3D kind of shows up more. It's the international terminal. So the night lighting looks, it's a street light as opposed to the moon. Global has the draw call issues as well. Nothing you can do about that. Atmospheric, so these lights here work. And yeah, surprisingly, nothing here at all. Not illuminated, so I would suggest that's something that needs to be fixed. So, there you have it, that's Sendai. It's kind of a mixture, really. As I said, and I think I've said consistently throughout this sort of first look, I believe this is overpriced for the size of the airport. Yep, it's overpriced in my view by around about $10, possibly 15. Having said that, Wing Creations certainly make good scenery, and they're one of the only developers who are doing it for Japan. So if you live in Japan or if you enjoy flying to Japan, we've got these guys in this one as well. It's bizarre that you'd include them if you can't see them from the outside. Another bug perhaps. Yeah, if you live in this part of the world, then I think you know, it would be worthwhile taking a look. You just need to weigh up whether or not you think you're going to get value for money from them or not. I think there's a very large question mark over that. It's not an issue with quality. It's just an issue on value for money more than anything. And I think there's a very large question mark over whether or not you're getting value for money with the scenery. My personal view is you're not, but that's just my personal view. So yeah, here we go. Hope you've enjoyed this little walk around of Sendai, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.